Yo guys, it's Captain Daniel, and today's video I'm going to talk about the harsh truth of dating high quality, your 10 out of 10, high value, most beautiful women in the world, okay? So here's the harsh truth. You guys aren't ready for them. And what do I mean by that? So let me tell you kind of my own personal experiences or my personal stories, right? So let's go with the first example of a high quality or rated beautiful woman. So nowadays, right, we consider probably one of the most beautiful women in the world, physically, by eyes, is probably an Instagram influencer who's famous for her looks, right? So you go on to Instagram, and let's say by a miracle or somehow, some way, you actually get the girl to come out and you actually end up dating her and, you know, whatever. The thing is, most men, even including me sometimes, until I had to actually date those kind of women, don't understand the lifestyle of in terms of beauty, let's say a high quality, beautiful woman, physical beauty, what kind of life she lives, right? We think she lives this, kind of maybe more upscale lifestyle and all that stuff, but she really does live a life that we can't comprehend. Like, it's mind blowing for me that these beautiful women, like, literally can get whatever they want. They can enter wherever they want. They can do whatever they want, and they can get away with it. It's like a superpower. Like beauty, a physical, beautiful woman who's very, very, very attractive is a physical beauty. And here's another thing, right? So first, there's going to be a part where like they're at a different level in society, unless you're in the same status as them, right? Let's say monetarily, maybe you're good looking or maybe you're famous, whatever. If you're not at their level of like status wise in society, right? Like you're in equivalent, like either by money, like money wise, or like I said, looks wise or something, you're gonna have insecurities flare up. And I remember this happened to me, personal anecdote, where I dated this one girl. I was in a country, and I remember we dated, and she was actually like, she was super chill, like super down to earth, and she was really like, not a big Instagram girl at the time, because Instagram was just getting big, and she still was physically very attractive, blonde hair, blue eyes, and everything. I remember we went on like a trip to a country together, and literally every time I left her to go to the bathroom or somewhere else, some guy was hitting on her. Every person was staring at her, not me. And it was just like constant, like eyes only on her, right? And as much as like I shouldn't care because she's with me, she's in the end, she's on this trip with me, she's dating me, I still felt constantly like, what? Like, am I not enough, right? And you think like, why? That's not possible. You're with the most beautiful girl in the world. But it's like when you have like the best thing, right? Let's say you have like the best life. Let's say you ever have a moment in your life where like super happy, everything's going with the flow, everything's going perfect, and you're kind of like, I really don't want to lose this life. So you're more scared to lose, and you start playing safe, and all the stuff that you did to get to that point in your life, like you did hard work, whatever, blah blah. And all of a sudden, like, you're so scared to lose it that you play safe and like you end up losing anyways, right? That's how you feel sometimes with a very beautiful girl. And even if I felt that a couple years, that was 5 years ago, and even to this day, like I've worked on my self-confidence and everything like that. Even with some girls, when I end up like finding them very attractive, and I could tell they live in a different world than I do get insecure, right? Especially if she's so beautiful. But there's other cons to this too. Like people think, the beauty, whatever. Like especially the beautiful girl could be awesome, by the way. Her personality could be awesome too. But let's say she does Instagram for a living, or she does TikTok for a living. Do you know what kind of lifestyle they live? They have to literally go to every place and literally market everything they do. And I remember this one girl, she wasn't even like, okay, as you can tell, like, I have a bad experience with it, so I'm not gonna say she's not beautiful. She was attractive, but literally everywhere we go, we had to take pictures. And I remember I literally couldn't enjoy one of the most beautiful beaches in Thailand. This was one other girl. Another girl was in Italy, where every time I went, I had to be their personal, literally Instagram boyfriend photographer. And I had to take like 200 pictures. And because these girls want burst pictures, you want to take so many pictures, and eventually they have to pick the picture from them. And I just realized, like, holy crap, if a girl, a high value girl in terms of physical beauty, lives this lifestyle, I have to do this every time we go to a nice dinner. She has to take a picture. Every time we have to enjoy a moment, it always has to be picture worthy. And it was just like, damn, like, man, like, is a beautiful girl who's considered very high value in terms of beauty, who's probably mostly like an Instagram influencer, do I even want to live the life she's living? Like, obviously, and the thing is, if I at any point feel like I'm not, let's say I have less followers than her, or I think I'm just less than her, or like, you know what I mean? Like, we all been there, right? With the girls, like, we kind of look at the girl like, man, she's really, really hot. She might be too good for me. As soon as you think that, it's over, by the way. As soon as you think a girl's too good for you, like, it's over. You have to understand she poops, she farts, she does all these nasty things just like we do. But yeah, as soon as you put her as a superhuman being above you, right? Because she lives like a superpower. Like, she lives like a superhero. Like, she literally can get whatever she wants. But as the moment you put her above you, it's over. Because now you will do stuff that you don't want to do, and you're going to do it just to keep her. And then you start losing your identity. And then now that becomes a pattern, and now she's going to want that to be consistent, right? Because let's say you start taking a lot of pictures for her, but now all of a sudden, like, you realize the looks fade away. Like, her looks is good, but it's not as good as before because maybe, you know, you dated her long enough, you don't really care, and now you're not being the same guy. She will get upset with you by not treating her the same and nicely like you did first before. This happens to a lot of my friends that are girls. They always tell me, like, the guy always treats me different after sex. And I'm like, yeah, because he was trying to get in your pants, and now that he got it, he's gonna definitely treat you different. So same thing with when a guy dates a beautiful girl, you have to realize, like, you gotta, like, you're not ready to live her lifestyle. As much as you think you're ready to live, you know, like date her, deal with all the insecurities that's gonna pop up. Like, do you know how many guys are DMing her, by the way, too? There's gonna be literally sometimes, if she's really, really gorgeous, like celebrities DMing her, legit, like very high, wealthy status guys messaging her. And if she's a good girl, she's gonna be like, I don't care. But for some reason, you care. Why? Because you're insecurities of a man, because you're not there yet as the best man possible. So that's why on all these videos, I say, be the best man you can be. Because if you're really the best man you can be, you don't care. You really don't give a fudge. But you start becoming a little bit insecure about your own limitations, right? And you're like, wait, why won't she go with him? He's a billionaire and I'm only a millionaire, or I only make 6 years, blah, blah. So you just have to realize that, like, some of you just aren't ready. Even me, like, I thought I would be ready to date a full influencer at times. But first, now, I'll be honest, Ken, I don't want to date an influencer. And I know I put these beautiful girls who are very beautiful with high followers, like, on the top. And I would love to, like, probably just, like, be intimate with them a couple times. But other than that, like, I just realized I don't want to date influencers because their lifestyle is just crazy. It's just constant marketing, and not all of them are, but, you know, and it's like, and another thing about influencer girls, right, is they always compare themselves. Like, it's impossible not to. No matter how, like, meditative and, like, super, like, zen she is, she's gonna always be on Instagram, and she's following other influencers who are, to see what they're doing, they're copying their stuff, and then she's gonna realize, holy shoot, I need to do what she's doing, I need to go where she's going. She went to the Maldives, I need to go to Bora Bora. So it's like, when you're dating her, you have to be the guy who can match with her lifestyle that her friends are living. Like, let's say her friend's boyfriend is doing a crazier stuff than what you're doing. It's just like, trust me, guys, like, you guys aren't ready to date the high quality in terms of beauty women as much as you think you are. Even me, I realized that really quick. Like the time, the resources, the mind, like, oh man, it's just, even just learning how to game these girls, it takes forever because you got to figure it out. And like, and also, if you never lived their lifestyle, you don't understand their lifestyle, it's very difficult. Like, that's why I told you in one of the videos about dating models, right? As if you want to date a model, you kind of have to understand their world a little bit, right? What's a casting, what's a lookbook, what's a comp card? You got to understand what kind of lifestyle they have, what are their biggest insecurities, what are their biggest strengths, like, what are their, you know what I'm saying? Like all models are not confident about their looks. Like, you think they would be confident about their looks, but actually they're the most insecure people in the world sometimes, because they are constantly judged on their looks, right? Because I think sometimes it's okay to be accepting that you're not that attractive physically, or you're ugly, than being constantly called attractive, so now you have to keep up that look. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's the first part of a high quality woman in terms of beauty, right? We can all base that on an Instagram influencer who literally has 1 million followers based on her looks. That's one high quality. Second high quality was an interesting topic I found out yesterday. So second high quality, let's say a girl who's, you know, very beautiful, but she's also financially stable and she's independent, right? This is the girl that we all want, right? It's guys like, oh yeah, I don't have to pay for everything. She'll take care of some of the stuff and all that stuff. So I met a girl yesterday, and she was dating this guy for a long time. So honestly, we were just like flings, and she kind of like, I hit her up, and then we kind of like hung out, and you know, we were doing kind of like a pillow talk, and I was kind of talking about, so what happened in your relationship and all that stuff? Like, you look like you were in love. And she said, that was all for show. And I was like, oh, okay, so what really happened? She's like, I just don't have the strong feelings I did for him before. And I was like, wait, why? Well, she's like, the thing is, like, and this happens in Korea a lot, and I think it's happening in Japan, or any country where the girls are not trying to get married and have babies, and I finally realized maybe the reason why. So she's like, well, don't get me wrong, like, when we first started out, I don't mind paying half. I make my own money. She's like, she's actually an influencer too, but she makes a lot of money on her own through sponsors, and she makes good money from what she told me yesterday. And she's like, I have to pay half for everything. And I let her talk. I was just like listening to her. She's like, oh, okay. I thought, in the West, especially, women want to pay half, right? But so with her, maybe she's more Asian culture, but she also said, like, I actually didn't mind paying half. But then I kind of realized when my feelings for him went down, and because the guy was also very young and he wasn't very manly and he didn't take lead, he didn't know how to game. He didn't know how to do other things besides just provide. His only game that he could do for her was like being this cute little guy and stuff. So if you're not gonna provide for her, you gotta still emotionally provide for her. You know what I'm saying? You gotta still make her feel like a woman at times, and he didn't do that. So what happened was, when she was pretty much taking care of him, paying half, like they went on a Japan trip, she paid half for the tickets and all this stuff. She said, what's the point having a man in my life when he doesn't bring any value into my life, especially monetarily? Like, that's the one thing I guess most girls, we grow up as, our fathers take care of the money. It's changed a lot, but like, the society still hasn't changed fully, right? The men still make money, but she's like, I make my own money and I'm wasting so much money. I could just do this by myself. I don't have to spend money on this guy or even on this trip when I could just buy my, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't bring any value to mine. He doesn't like plan the trip. He doesn't do anything, right? So there's pros and cons to this, by the way, because this guy just didn't do anything, right? So she's like, what's the point of like going on these expensive trips, going to these expensive restaurants when I'm making the reservations, I'm doing all the stuff, I'm picking the places, right? It's like, what's the point, right? So then she's like, she just broke up with them. And I was like, that's very interesting, because recently, last year, I was dating this girl, and she was also a girl who like lived based on her looks, and she kind of dated guys who were very, very wealthy. I guess the last guy she dated was like a multi-millionaire in Malaysia's son or whatever, and like Ferraris. Basically told her to move out to where he was, he'll take care of everything. She didn't work a dime and he'd pay for everything and stuff. And actually she found out she didn't like that lifestyle. She didn't like being taken care of like that. So with me, she was more open to doing stuff, but in the end, like, she still wanted to be taken care of. So I did. And at one point though, it was my birthday, and I really wanted to go to Cappadocia, Turkey, the balloons, for my birthday, right? So I pretty much asked her, I was like, hey, like, because at the time I had to buy my parents tickets to Korea, and I had to buy my own plane tickets to Korea too, and I had to buy my plane tickets to Turkey, and I had to get hotels and the whole thing. So personally, like, I know I've been taking care of her in a way, but I kind of asked her, hey, do you mind just buying the tickets to Turkey, and I'll handle the rest. I'll pay for everything besides just the flight ticket. Are you cool with that? And she actually said she was cool with it, but I could tell her hesitation, right? Because for her, that was a lot of money too. But for me, I felt like I had the right to ask. It's my birthday. I wanted her to come to Turkey. I didn't want to go to Turkey with anybody else, so I kind of want to ask her. But in the end, we broke it off because there was an incident where, I had a point where, like, as a female, right, I didn't mind taking care of her, right? I didn't like pay for her house or anything like that, but I took her out. We would go out. I would usually pay for everything, all that stuff. And a lot of my students struggle with this, like, why do I have to pay for everything? And I just gotta accept the fact, right? Where I'm in Asia, where that's kind of the norm, so I was doing it. But it got to a point where, like, we started hanging out a lot, and she kind of started staying with me a lot. And then there was a day where I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to spend any more money on a nice restaurant, and it was my fault. I pretty much told her the night before or the morning, I said, let's go on a nice date, but I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't having a bad day. I wasn't on. So I kind of was like, hey, baby, can we just like take a nap and just take a day off? And I thought she was cool with it, but she said she was cool with it. And after the nap, she kind of like says, I'm just gonna go home. We got into an argument, so she pretty much said, like, you promised me we're gonna go somewhere nice, blah blah. And I was just like, what? Like, the one day I just want to take a break, you're gonna call me out on this. And I got really, really angry. And all of a sudden I started calculating, like, okay, if I provide for her financially or take care of her, in the finance wise, I should have got something, at least something. Like, I'm not trying to see, like, real talk, like, bro, like, if I'm taking the girl financially, she has to take care of me as a woman. And for me, the only image I have how a woman takes care of a man is what my mom did for my dad and me, right? They would cook for me. They would do, sometimes fold my clothes and do my laundry, pack my suitcase, right? Oh my God, you're so old school. No, like, to be honest, you know why I realized? Because one of my best friend's sister came visiting me, and she's actually a huge feminist, but because she knew, like, I was letting her stay at my place, taking time out of my schedule, and she did this for her brothers, she would fold my clothes. Like, you're so messy, fold my clothes. She would do the laundry, she would do the dishes, because she didn't want to deal with it, but she also wanted to, like, give me thanks in her own way, because I know financially I was kind of like helping her out a little bit. But like, yeah, long story short, she did those kind of like acts of services. And maybe my love language is acts of services, but this girl wasn't doing anything besides just being pretty and us like making love. That's it. And I just got tired of it. So my case in point is, these high quality women you want financially secure, whatever like that, and like stable, whatever. You gotta realize, if a girl has like that, you have to up your game too. You have to provide her some kind of value besides financial then, because she's already financially set. So you need to emotionally give her some kind of value. So I'm saying is like, you guys need to be ready for this. Like you think you want all these like high value women, right? One, I just talked about beauty. One, now I'm talking about finances, right? And you, if she financially can take care of you, you have to provide her easy some kind of physical, like give her good, good sex, or like emotionally, you got to give her emotional sex. Like you got to make her feel good. You got to make her feel something she doesn't get from her already life. And now let's go with the third beautiful, high quality, whatever woman. Let's say the girl with the best personality. She's so secure. She's so confident. She plays no games, whatever, right? Here's the funny thing about that. Let's say she's so good and so confident, and you're not. You're insecure. You're not good. You're not your best self. Because most of the guys, why are we chasing women's validation? Because we are not our good selves. We're not our best selves. We're not our best identity. So what happens is, you chase this girl who's perfect in her identity, and she just worked on her self-help. She meditates. She's a perfect saint and all this stuff. And you just realize like, yo, I can't keep up with her. Like, you can't be lower in her like confidence than she is if you're trying to match up with her. So all these guys, be careful what you wish for. That's what I'm saying. In this video, I want to talk about really be careful about what you guys want, because you guys think like, oh man, the perfect girl in terms of looks, the perfect girl in terms of finance, the perfect girl in terms of personality. Like, if you're not there perfect yourself and you don't know what value you can give, like I've seen so many stories. I just gave you all these stories about like these girls who was perfect in looks, perfect in finance, perfect in personality, right? Perfect in personality, that's really hard to find because that's like all subjective, but I did meet this one girl who thought she was like a spiritual guru, right? I guess I'll give this one last goal. She was like a super guru, and then she did an OnlyFans, and she genuinely she genuinely believed this, right? Genuinely believed that through OnlyFans, she was helping men. And I was just like, what? And she was so firm in her belief that she was like so firm in her feminine energy. She's like, I just know who I am now. And she was so feminine, so meditative, so like woo-woo, crystal person. Like she was so into it. And I would say she was confident in her job, right? But like, I was just like straight up, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you say you making men subscribe to you to pay OnlyFans, even though you do a spiritual guru thing, and you talk to them for money? By the way, she charges men to talk to her one-on-one. How are you helping him grow as a man? And that was so against my belief. But obviously, like I'm saying, if it was maybe similar beliefs, it worked. But she was so confident in that. She was so adamant that like, no, like she was in her late 20s. And she's like, this is my life purpose. I am helping men through OnlyFans by giving them my spiritual and yet sexual energy. And this is my womanhood. I could show my sexual self because I'm so proud of who I am. And for me, I was just like, what? I was so against that. And I was like, to me, that's not right. Like, I don't want a girl thinking that she's helping men by charging them money to see her, like, her stuff. And I was just like, dude, that's not, I don't know. But she was confident. She was very, very spiritual. I would say she was very, like, some girls would admire her. Some guys would be like, wow, she's a confident girl, right? That's why people pay $30 a month just to see her, right? So I don't know. But this is what I'm saying, right? Like, you guys have to be prepared for this. Like, stop wishing that you want a perfect 10. You need to wish that you're the perfect 10 so you can attract the perfect 10, right? Like, stop wishing that you will be a perfect 10 when you attract the perfect 10 or you get a perfect 10. You need to be that perfect 10 version of yourself first so you could kind of like date all these different kind of individuals, right? And maybe there is no perfect 10. Maybe that's the other option, right? There is no perfect 10 out there, and you just have to go with who you are, right? At this moment in your life. So I know that's something you probably didn't want to hear, but that's the real truth about dating beautiful women, high quality, high status women. So guys, if you're very interested more into what I like talking about, go to the Masterclass seminar. I do it every single week, the Facebook group downstairs. And if you want that one-on-one coaching to actually how to become a better man, how to be a perfect 10, let's get on a call, see if I can help you. DominantAsianDating.com. Let's get on a call. We'd love to talk to you. All right, Captain Daniel, out.